talk a little bit about Daniel Sprong. Obviously, it's a pretty good night so far. 2 goals tonight. But tell us about your trip out east and what's the purpose of the trip?
Well, the purpose is just out here to see how he's doing. We stay in touch with him during the course of the year. We're through texting and once in a while we'll get a phone call. But it's just to see how his progress is going right now. And I'm in touch with his with Grant Saunier a lot during the course of the year. Me and Billy Gurn, we speak to him a lot. And we just want to make sure he's doing the right things and doing the right things, and he's listening to the coaching staff and listening, playing the right way. I mean, we know he's talented. We know he can score goals. Like any great offensive young player, they got some warts, and they need to work on the defensive side of the game. And Daniel's no different, but he's got NHL skill. He's got an NHL release on his shot. I mean, we see him. He's got 2 great backdoor plays from his teammates, but he's in the right spots at the right time. And it's a great pickup in the second round. Like I said, our amateur guys have done a wonderful job, and now it's at our point now where the development guys, we got to make sure that he's doing the right things and he can get to that NHL level and he can be a top 6 forward for the Pittsburgh Penguins at some point.
Mark, every player is different, but and how they receive criticism, constructive criticism. Tell me about Daniel Sprong.
Oh, he's great. He listens to everything we say, and we're not here all the time, so but at the same time, we let him know I was coming in, so Grant was happy about that because he said he thinks he'll get a pretty good couple games out of him this weekend. So not that he's not playing well anyways, but I think he said they're 14-4 since he's come back from Pittsburgh, so he's done a good job. And like I said, he's evolving. He's got to get better, and he's got to get some better in some areas, but he wants to get better, which is a great thing. He wants to be a pro, he wants to be an NHL hockey player, and he wants to succeed.
In order, as you say, a top 6, and eventually you see him in the top 6 with the Pens, in order for him to get there, what are some of the things that he needs to get better at?
Well, the defensive side of the game, reading the defensive plays, he's got to get a little stronger on the walls. That's a huge game up in the NHL, and he's got to make sure he plays with pace. The pace is high, and even at the AHL level. So, he's just got to keep working on those finer areas of defensive side of the game. Get in and commit. Get in there on the forecheck as well. There's lots of different little aspects that that all young players have to work at, and he's no different. But he's got world-class talent, which a lot of our players don't have, and that's one thing that we see. And we honestly he needs to score goals for his teams, but we want him to get better in those areas and keep working at it, and then next year hopefully he comes in and it's juniors or NHL again next year, so we hope he can develop enough where he gets to that point where we don't have to worry about that and he can just step in.
So close this year, and yet what do you hope that he'll be able to accomplish here in the how long the season runs, March, April?
Well, we hope they go on a good playoff run. That's always important that they get some playoff experience. If they end up getting knocked out at some point, he'll come to Wilkes-Barre and he'll get some pro games down in Wilkes-Barre. He'll get a taste of the AHL, and that's a darn good league too. So it'll be another great experience for him. So we hope they get on a good run here and we don't have to worry about it. But if not, then he will be in Wilkes-Barre at some point to play some games and be around that pro atmosphere down there.
You're not the general manager, you're the development coach, but how quickly might he get there? Is it possible next year he's in that lineup?
Well, it's definitely possible because, again, it's juniors or it's NHL. So, we hope that he can just take that next step developing and that's the decision the organization's going to have to make next year. Is it better for him to come back for another junior year, or is it better for him to stay in the NHL and develop up there? So, and that'll be up to Daniel to show us in training camp. He's going to have to come in and show us that he's prepared to do the things that we've asked him to do, and the detailed things that he's going to need to work on, because we understand he's got NHL talent. There's no question about that. He's a great kid, and he wants to do well. So we expect big things at some point from him.